Hello and welcome to Cloudforest VIbes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloudforest VIbes. Today's video is just going to be an update on a whole bunch of plants. I have to flush all my orchids today, and it's quite a task, and what better time to take a look at them than when they're all going to be getting pulled out of here. So we're actually not going to look around inside my tent for once. We're going to be doing most of our looking around here on my drip drying rack as the plants are getting sprayed or as they're dripping out or whatever. So without much delay, because I have a whole lot of work to do, I'm going to get right in there, but we do have some blooms to look at and lots of other really cool things and progress and stuff. So without further ado, here we go. But before we go, I do want to show you guys one quick thing here in the tent, because I have been working doing some modifications, I guess you could say, or additions to give me even more space. I really think I hit gold with this one. So let's take a quick peek and we'll get to the watering session. So anybody growing in the home, growing in a tank or a tent or anything for that matter, knows space is probably your biggest issue. So something I did this past week is I actually ripped the shelving out from the bottom of this tent. I never use it. The only thing that ever sits down there is drip trays and saucers and things like that. And I joined it back to back with some zip ties. And I went ahead and made a hanging rack for it. So now I have all these plants suspended directly under the light in my greenhouse, and it is absolutely awesome. I've been able to free up some space on the shelves and get some plants out further that needed to be put into some more light, and I just think it's awesome. A lot of my highlight lovers, really highlight lovers, have been moved onto this rack now directly under this grow light. Same on the back side. These are also highlight lovers, but they don't necessarily like full sun. I've got my little tillandsia stuck in here now, and I think everything is going to really appreciate it. So I'm going to get this out of my way because it is in my way. In order to be in here, I definitely have to move it. But again, I've created so much more space, basically a whole nother hanging wall. Really, really cool. I'm happy with the idea. Another thing that I've done, I had an old fishing rod that was broken. So I sawed it in half, because I'll never get it fixed. And I hung that above, which I know it doesn't seem like much, but just being able to get plants up another few inches higher really makes a big difference sometimes. So I took half of it and I placed it here. And then the other half I placed back there, and that gives me a place above all these big mounts on the top rack there to hang these plants and get them some more light. Really, really cool. So I've created several new little areas. It's helped me spread some plants out and get plants up into better light, which is always a good thing. Alrighty. That's all for that. I'm going to go ahead and start taking plants out, and we'll find some cool ones to talk about. So there is going to be a slight change of plans. Immediate apologies. Everything is pulled out so far, dripping and having been flushed. I've got the little stuff here from my new hanging rack system. It's gonna have to stay there till the end. I've got this whole shelf just absolutely chock full of plants. I don't know if you can see back in there, literally just chock full. And more or less the same thing on this upper rack here. So we'll look around a little bit. I've got just about this entire side, I should say this half of the greenhouse cleared out. The pots I just flushed, some of these don't have any moss on them, and they just got a good rinse, a good flush, and put back because they don't really need to take that long to drip like some of these others. Now, Still got a ton of plants left, so like I said, what I'm going to actually now end up doing, I think, is getting these all watered and put back and actually giving them a look in a tent. Some of the cool progress you can see here, at least, is Dracula inequalis, or Dracula carteri, just still going nuts. Got buds and buds and buds and buds and buds. Some of the spikes have gone, but we've still got lots and lots of cool stuff happening. Not a lot of new growth. Maybe it's gonna wait until after it's done with this flush of blooms, but definitely going strong nonetheless. We have a cameo, or a Miss Sheba. That's about all we get nowadays. I swear, it's like any dog. I don't know if any of you dog owners out there have the same issue, but the minute that I turn my camera on my phone or turn a camera towards her of any kind, she just, she knows. Even if she's in a dead sleep, it seems as though the minute I turn it on, she'll wake up and promptly run away, ruin a good picture. So, anyhow, lots of good stuff. Our Bellina dropped its first bloom, but this is the second one, still going strong. I've got this whole fragrance right now, basically in this entire room. It's really nice. And something worth noting, we don't get to look at this very often. This is my Dendrobium helwigianum, and it's doing okay. I moved it up, and I gave it too much light, I believe, when I did that. You can see some of the growths are yellowing. It is deciduous too, so some of them might just be their time, but we do have some really awesome little blooms on this thing again. It bloomed once, a nice good flush of blooms this spring. They're relatively long-lived. They have a span of a few months or so, but really neat little blooms. That's another flush that just faded, and these just opened. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Anything else we can see here now? No, not really. Just the hair yellow, maybe. Hair yellow's got a bud on it. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to it, guys. I got a whole bunch of stuff to shuffle around and put away, and then we'll be back here soon to take a look at some more. Alrighty, so the first batch of plants has all been returned on both sides of me. Sorry for the spinny camera. All of that's back in place now, up and down. And we have the next section of plants out. Not a whole lot made it out, but some of my bigger plants are in this batch here in that rack, I guess. As you can see, the plants from that section are quite large, mounts are quite large, and they take up quite a bit of room. And photobombing its way right into our hearts is the Gomessa vericosa var Felicio Valdino spike. It's getting pretty big, it's getting pretty developed. Looks like it's going to have a branch here, and it has at least 9-10 buds on it so far that are pushing along quite nicely. Another thing very exciting again is this Dendrobium rotostictum. I've got 1-2 spikes here that are coming along quite nicely. I'd say they're about a 1/4 inch long, and down here this real strong growth from last year looks like it may just be pushing one as well, at least the very start of it. So 3 spikes on that plant would be phenomenal. I would be extremely happy, to say the least. Everything's looking really good. I'm not noticing too many issues. Lots of the media changes and things that we did in the very beginning of this season have really helped a lot of these plants push on nicely so far this year. And I do have a few things I guess we'll talk about at the end. I've set a few plants aside for some more love, so that's how we'll probably end this thing up. And that's why it's great again to get in and really get your hands dirty and pull things out and take a look at them. I have definitely been slacking this year. I've been relying on the sprayer a bit too much. But thankfully, again, no problems and lots of cool progress. Alrighty, I'm going to let these drip out and I will be back momentarily to look at the next batch. So we've got more or less our final batch of plants out, dripping off, getting ready to go back in the tent. I have literally been at this all day. I think it's been 5 hours, so lots and lots of downtime, I guess, letting plants drip out before I put them back in the tent, but still, it has been an all-day activity, so I'm eager to get this done. So we're going to skip ahead now to the end, and I'm going to go ahead and look at everything once it's back inside here, and finish my last couple really big plants and let them drip out once I can get some of these off this rack. Alrighty, so everything is now put back. The jungle is back together and looking great. I did move a couple things around in the hopes that I can get them more light and make them a little bit more happier. But most of the things have stayed where we saw them. Things are looking good, guys. I really do have a lot of progress. I know this video's gotten a little bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short. We're going to have to catch up with the rest of the things in the next update video, which I promise will be very soon. There is lots and lots of cool stuff coming, lots of flowers to come, and things like that. So until next time, guys, this is Bobby from Cloudforest VIbes saying thank you. As always, please stay safe, and as always, happy growing. See you guys.